We start the day off with news involving the Turkey Leg Hut. Nakia Holmes, co-founder of Turkey Leg Hut, filed for divorce from Lynn Price in May 2023 amid allegations of abuse and financial mismanagement. In a revealing Instagram post, Holmes accused Price of emotional and mental abuse and cited financial issues as reasons for his termination and subsequent layoffs. These issues have notably affected the business's stability, for which Holmes has expressed regret to her employees. In 2024, after Price announced his firing due to financial discrepancies, a judge mandated the couple to pay over $900,000. Furthermore, a fire at the Turkey Leg Hut's business office in March 2024, under investigation for potential ties to the marital dispute, has added another layer of complexity to the ongoing turmoil surrounding Holmes and Price. And that's the word on the streets. Now back to the show.
See, this is why you don't mix business with pleasure. Now they're about to lose their whole marriage. Why? Biggest thing, mixing business with pleasure and finance. Money is always an issue next to infidelity.
Why is it that every time, most of the time, I ain't gonna say every time, most of the time on a lot of these podcasts, we hear guys professing they love for women. But once they profess they love, these are the things that they say. They say, I wasn't a man until a woman came in my life. And then the next thing is, well, what did she do to elevate you? Well, we started a business together. I didn't start getting money until I got with my wife. I didn't start being the best man I could be financially until I got with my wife. We started this business. We started that business. A lot of these guys constitute being a good woman or finding a woman by how she's able to help them in the business. Now, in this case, like always, and just like you said, it always starts out good. It always starts out good. But what happens? Go ahead.
Well, this is because we're in this era of power couple. Everybody wants to be a power couple right now, and first don't even know whether they're a couple. You know, so many times women are not prepared to be wives as men are not ready to be men. Now, they've come together, two that probably had enough to start this business, an idea, and maybe a little money. But individually, they were not prepared. She was not prepared to be a wife, because then she might have approached this differently. And he wasn't prepared to lead, because just the fact that he fondled the money allegedly tells you, are you ready to lead? See, that's discipline. Being able to have and to hold on to what you have and manage it appropriately requires discipline. And not every man is prepared for that. And a woman, you know, she wouldn't have had to oversee him and probably be, you know, overzealous and watching him that way had she known he was man enough and secure enough to do the things that he needed to do to make this business successful. So they wasn't prepared. Not only were they not prepared for business, as you can see, they wasn't prepared for marriage, as you can see.
Now, I hadn't heard or I hadn't read anything, and y'all can please excuse me because I hadn't seen anything that he said, but it may be something out there or reports out there or from a statement that he made. But of course, when things start going wrong and we only have one side speaking, it's abuse and mismanage of money. But most of the time when I find in relationships and couples where there's a lot of money involved, it starts out with both of them are spending money. He's spending money, she's spending money, the trips, the cars, the houses, all those different things. It's not until the money start running low where they start looking at where the money going and then pointing the finger. That's why I'm always, but I did see a video where this guy was in the restaurant yelling and screaming at some ladies in there twerking. So I mean, if I own a restaurant, I wouldn't have been doing it like that, yelling and screaming at my customers and all that there. I would have politely asked them to leave. If they want to leave, I'd have picked up the phone, called the police, had them escorted out because I wouldn't have wanted to disturb the rest of my customer. But it did show a little aggression. It's kind of guy that, like, I don't know. I ain't gonna say a street. I don't know the guy. But she did report abuse.
Well,
Now, a lot of women, I do notice this, women tend to mislabel abuse with mistreatment. Now,
well,
what do you go
it was
ahead?
not only reported of her, it was reported of her and the kids. And so the kids are able to speak. And sometimes in your anger, maybe both was spending, but maybe he was overspending because remember now he's being the one accused of misappropriation of funds, allegedly. So in that case, some men don't know how to channel that anger. So when they go out and they realize that they've messed up, and it's going to hurt the family and the business, they come home aggressively and they take that aggression out on the family because they don't know how to deal with what they've done. The overspending or whatever the situation could have been. Um, and so maybe that is the case because kids can speak. So if it was just her, I would say maybe, but we never want to underplay abuse. But when you say this man was abusing me and my kids, that's some aggression. And as you say, what you observe him do in the restaurant with the ladies can be hinted towards his aggression. So there may be something there to that.
Now, I don't know. I don't know, and you could be right about that. Now, that was a judge. A judge ordered him to pay $900,000, but to who? Now, my guess is
Who's
probably.
paying?
I think that's the reason why it's suspected. It's
Well,
suspicious.
who was ordered to pay it? Together or
Yeah,
him?
yeah. I can pretty much. I don't know this, but I'm just gonna speculate. That's probably payroll taxes right there. You
Probably
know,
so because
that's
there's a
payroll tax, and like I said before, they will throw your butt in jail quick messing around with employees payroll taxes because you got to send that to the IRS.
and that could be true because there's
I mean,
employees,
who else would they be paying to? Unless they owe, what then they might get owe the employees 900 something. But
but
man,
and the
wait,
employees
wait, wait.
they haven't been paid 3 and 4 weeks. I don't know
What?
why they're still coming to
Gee,
work
three
because
and
I wouldn't
four.
for nobody after the first visit.
Yeah, that don't sound right because
The
ain't
hub
no
been shut.
yeah, ain't no employees, and I know they ain't got that many employees enough to where it's then almost mounted to $1 million you hadn't paid because what employee is gonna stay with you that long for you not to pay them
Well,
at all?
it might be like some of those other restaurants where they hire family, and family will drag in there with you for, a while, 2, 3 weeks. And at that time, not realizing, hey, 2 or 3 weeks, that's happened to multiple people, and think about if somebody quit because they wasn't getting their money, then that means somebody might have been there working at overtime to stick by them.
Unless that was maybe a lawsuit, but the payroll shouldn't add it up to almost $1 million. That's
No time people
like
would hours in on their feet for these people. That's crazy to me.
so if you had what I don't know. He would have to have a lot of employees for that. But nevertheless, he got to pay the money back. And a fire broke out mysteriously.
Yeah.
A mysterious fire broke out,
So
and
now the people are
you going,
unemployed and
yeah,
how to find jobs.
you're going through a divorce. Judge then ordered you to pay back nearly $1 million, and so your restaurant catch on fire and looks a bit suspicious.
Yeah, very.
If
But
I was it, go ahead.
and all those things can be very emotionally disturbing, and that's when you start to look at the emotional man, which can that's the danger of having a man that's emotional and can't deal with his emotions because they become physical aggression. So
I
um
don't know. I think you leaning on him too hard. Because
Oh,
we only got but one
but
side of the story now.
you would say
This
that.
is all we got is one
You would
side because when women are quick to run down there and start filing all kind of report down at the police, and she's probably a flat booty woman. I
oh,
bet
there you
you that much. I
stop it.
bet you
Stop,
she's a flat booty.
stop
They
it.
run down to the courthouse, file it, and the first thing is abuse. And where all the money went? Oh, you spun it up. I'm not saying this dude didn't. I'm not saying all I'm saying is
Let
let's give
everybody
let's wait and hear both sides of the story before we start man bashing.
look at
You
that
before
Rolex
you
on his
start man bashing,
look at that nice
man bash.
Rolex on his arm and that polo shirt.
She looking pretty. Look at that hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's about $700 on her hair.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more than that. I'm not first on hair, but I heard this can be pretty expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's a lot
Mhm.
going on here,
It's
but
not becoming of you.
well, she fired him.
Yeah,
So that
look
means
like they're
he got
gonna
all the money.
look like she's trying to divorce him.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So now all the money gone. That's what I'm talking about. Now that
Money.
all the money gone, now the police report start coming. Now the reports start coming out.
You're right.
Mm.
You spend all my money and you think you're gonna sleep up in here? You gotta find you somewhere to live. Cause you ain't living here. You ain't gonna spend all the money, whoop my butt, and think you gonna stay with me. Oh no.
So why if there was abuse to the kids and there was why haven't there been any police reports?
We don't know that.
Hmm?
We don't know that.
Well, whoever wrote this story should have did more research, and
Well,
I would have think to have any kind of credibility, they would have done more research before they wrote this piece.
well, we don't know. This is just a glimpse into it. So, we still got a lot more to go. So I'm sure that's gonna be a lot to come out when we find out how the fire started and all the good old stuff he's been doing. I'm sure that's gonna be some other stuff.
Well, Caprice man bashing to be continued.
That's right. Of
To
course.
be continued, guys. To be continued.